to welcome everyone to the second day. And today we are focusing on memories and offerings by disciples and well-wishers. So we have an exciting itinerary full of excitement. We're going to travel the globe, collecting nectarian stories from 20 countries, north, south, east, and west. To begin our tour, we will start in Australia, Europe, Africa, and then the United States, where we will have a tour of Gurudev's personal projects in Gitanagari and DC. A reminder, we will have tomorrow the Global International Summit, and we would like devotees to have the opportunity to cooperate, collaborate, and support and learn about what our God family is doing around the planet. If you would like to participate, please send me a private text via the Zoom link, and we can place your name on the list. Secondly, we're going to have our first international Istagosti, where we will have 2 facilitators. So if you would like your question to be asked, please send them directly to me via Zoom. All right, so today we have an exciting itinerary, and we'd like Bhakti Bhavana to begin with prayers to start off the day.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Omagyanatamirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamvitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's Vyasa Puja celebration 2021 Ki Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna, thank you so much. We're going to start off today in Australia, and we have our wonderful God sister, Divya Drishta, who was initiated in 2003 at an international festival. She currently lives in UK, north of England. She has been in a therapy business with a background in human resources and management. She's been involved with devotees in the north, preaching and programs, and is closely connected with God family in the UK. We'd like to welcome our Divya Drishta.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev. Thank you, Krishna Shakti, for that nice introduction. And thank you for the devotees yesterday for the start of the program and setting such a wonderful mood. Last night was amazing. Just listening to the pastimes and Gurudev's family and the way we were taken from when Gurudev was a small boy going to church and then growing up as a teenager in high school. And then all that happened in his life before he met Srila Prabhupada. It was so amazing, and it was such a wonderful opening to the program. So I thank them all for setting that mood. I was asked, I'm grateful and I thank you, was asked to speak on Gurudev when he came to Australia and my memories of that time. It was back in 2004. And Gurudev had just done a world tour. It was a really busy tour. He'd been to different continents, and within each continent, so many countries, and he traveled extensively preaching around at that time. So he was flying into Australia from, I think it was West Africa, or one of the African countries where he'd been staying and doing his projects and programs. So he came into Brisbane, and he was coming up to the Moolumbar temple, which is a farming temple up in the hills in Australia. Normally, Gurudev when he came to Australia, he would do like Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. He would be all over the Australian continent itself. But this visit, he was just coming to Brisbane. As you all know, Gurudev was a transformer. So wherever he came, there was going to be big change and big things happening. So I think at this time in Australia, there might have been some resistance to the change. So he was focused in the Brisbane area, which was great for all the devotees there. So Gurudev came there and he stayed with his god family, his god brother Hari Sori and his wife and his daughter. They had a beautiful villa up in the hills, and Gurudev came there, and he was really exhausted because he'd travelled, and you know how he worked. It was just 24 hours a day, and he was really wiped out and exhausted. So it was fortunate, Krishna's blessings really, because he had a chance to just stay in one place. He stayed there for about a week, I think, and his god family, they took real good care of him. It was a beautiful villa, lovely big Jagannath deities. It was like a temple house really. And Hari Sori's wife was cooking for Gurudev, and we were a small group of devotees. Chitralekha was there, Vishaya, Jai Vijay, and there was Krishna Pad and his wife and his mum and his family and Nandini. There was a small group of devotees, and we were doing the cleaning and the serving and the laundry, and it was just amazing. And we were up at Hari Sori's house, so we really got to see Gurudev in such a relaxed mood, and he really liked Australia. He always said, like, it was such a nice place because the weather was lovely and the environment was beautiful, and he really enjoyed being there, and he was so relaxed. And this was 2004, and once Gurudev, once the fatigue left, he really looked well and strong and amazing at that time, which was just a year before. So and Gurudev was coming in, and he was doing the community building, community development programs, the seminars. So he came in, and I'd already been to Gitanagari, and I'd experienced Gitanagari, dancing in the mud, and the whole connection, and how we were all connected, and the kirtans and the classes and everything. So I knew the difference when I went into another temple community, and it felt disconnected, and the people were a bit weary, and the devotees, and they'd come to the programs, and then everybody just go off to their little places in the hills, and it was a bit like that. So Gurudev would come into the temple, and he would just ignite the whole thing. And he was doing the community building program, and so the devotees would all come around and start getting involved in these seminars, and they've never really been in anything like that. They've done the morning programs and the classes and anything, but nothing where we were just coming together as a community to learn and open up and connect. And I watched this and observed it, and Mother Rajalila, she asked, what did we learn when we were with Gurudev? And what I learned was that the way he listened with love, he really did that. He absolutely listened to everybody with love, and the way he did that, he just connected to their heart. He just invited them in, and he said, how are you? What's happening? What's been going on? How are you? How are you feeling? And the minute he let them speak and he listened to them with that love, he just opened up their hearts, and we were there, we witnessed it everywhere we went. And he just had, his gift was he would allow them to speak, and he would listen to them, and then he would ask them questions. And yourself, when there's been problems and conflict and issues, then waters go deep, Well, Gurudev, he he just opened them up and he would ask them questions and he would say, how can we help you? You know, we're here. What can we do? How can we change this? How can we make this change? And he would listen to them, what they wanted, how their lives could change. And through that love connection, they would just, it would bring it up, and he would give them insight into their own problems and what was happening into their own communities. And then he would say to them, and what can you do? You know, how can you change this as well? And it was just, it was amazing. It was so powerful to be there and to be a part of that, you know. And we'd all be crying and they'd be crying and everybody, and the feeling of trust. And then we would just bond and connect. He would just connect us all. And then we'd have the most amazing kirtans, and the whole families would all be like together, and we'd all be in the kirtans, and everybody would be so happy. And I always remember, you know, he wouldn't stop at that. He wouldn't just stay in the community. If there was God family, his brothers and sisters, if they had gone away and they were hurt and they were up in the hills, you know, he would get in a car, a little car, it was miles away, dust tracks, and he would go to them. And he would stay with those families, and he would listen to them with love, and he would help them, and he would bring them back. He would reconnect them back in with purpose, and also with them, you know, wanting that. So and we had a wonderful time in Australia. Like I say, Gurudev stayed there. He stayed at Harry Soy's house with his family, so he was really relaxed and happy. And we would have small disciple group meetings, and we'd go out to the park and we'd have picnics. So we spent such a special time with them there, and the devotees were so happy. And Gurudev, you know, when he left, I remember thinking he looked so, you know, vibrant and strong and energized. So, and it was wonderful. And then after he left, I read his offering to Srila Prabhupada, and I was like, you know, praying like we all did to Srila Prabhupada, please, you know, what does this mean? Well, you know, it was just an amazing time. So I thank you all for letting me share that with you. And I'll hand you back to, am I introducing, are you going into Europe now, Krishna Shakti?
We're going to actually go into Eastern Europe first, and then we're going to go to the other parts.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing us back and reminding us of the wonderful kirtans and the personal mood and just the humor of Gurudev and how personal and how he would light up every spot that he would enter. So thank you so much for sharing the nectar from Australia. All right, so now we are going to Eastern Europe, where we're going to have a wonderful video. We're going to have Dhiranitai introduce. Dhiranitai Das graduated from ISKCON GBC College for Leadership Development. He is a Bhakti Shastra teacher, a violin teacher, yoga and meditation teacher, and author on meditation, mindfulness, and well-being. He was first and second initiated by Bhakti Tirtha Swami. We look forward to watching the collaborative video. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Shakti Mataji, thank you so much. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsava ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Thank you so much for introduction and for this possibility. Really, it was quite a journey, amazing journey for all of disciples from former Yugoslavia. So we will have sharings from God brothers and sisters from Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Serbia. And some of us are all around the world. So it will be quite colorful. And actually, this whole thing, I'm still trying to understand what happened now to us. because by kind mercy of our devotees, of our God family, actually we connected so much together. And we connected actually for the first time in such a way after Guru Maharaj departed. So it was, we were not even aware how many disciples we are, because we didn't have a chance really to meet. And when Dhruva Maharaj contacted our God sister from Bosnia, Ananda Vrindavan Dasi, then she started to connect with us, and we started to join in the WhatsApp group and try to discuss, what could be our offering. And we were thinking like, okay, perhaps, we will have to do some video offering, and we will be perhaps 10 of us. But finally, we found out that there are 36 disciples from that area, and 34 managed to share something, as smaller or as big as they managed in also quite some, for some of them were quite short time. So this is quite an amazing achievement, and this is really like Gurudev's mercy on us. He left so many wonderful remnants, and now we are able to relish it and to use it also to offer something back also to Gurudev, and hopefully you all devotees will also appreciate and enjoy. So we started also Zoom meetings once a week to have brainstorming, what could we do for the offering, for the joint offering of all of us. And then we came up with the topic Gurudev dancing throughout our lives. So we choose a kirtan, which is like a red thread through the video. And we didn't expect that the video will be so long, but what can you do? You can't turn so many devotees. As I said, we were thinking there will be 10. At the end, there are 34 offerings. And it is more or less like homemade video. What to do, so please excuse any technical details that are not so fine, but I think it will be quite nice. And really we are feeling now very much connected, and for me it was a revelation, whoa, we have this god brother in Serbia and that god sister in Serbia. I didn't even know about, really, I was not aware of some of disciples from there. So this is really like, I'm still, like, what's going on, Gurudev really pushed us somehow, and I would just also like to shortly say, it sometimes needs just one person to push something, and then the whole thing starts to roll. And this was really our experience. And yes, so without further ado, I would like to ask, I think Nanda Sunu Prabhu will, yes, just one more thing. I would like really to thank also Ananda Vrindavan Mataji, who was really behind this project, connecting everybody, pushing, also all of us to do our best with this video. And also to the husband of our god sister Lavanga Manjari. Yes, Ananda Vrindavan Mataji ki jai. I can see her. And yeah, the husband of Lavanga Manjari, of our god sister from Croatia, living now in Germany. He is a professional video maker, and he put really a lot of selfless effort to make this video possible and to give a final nice touch to all of this. So thank you again so much to all the organizers for making this reunion of disciples from former Yugoslavia possible all over the world. Thank you so much.
Gurudev Saranagatam Gurudev Swagatam Gurudev.
There's in our little group here. How many are from Bosnia?
Koliko je od vas bakta iz Bosne?
How many devotees here are from Slovenia?
Slovenija?
Did any from Slovenia?
Ima Je li itko došao iz Slovenije?
Couple. Macedonia?
Makedonije?
Yeah, 2, 3 ambassadors.
Veliki ambasadori su.
So, in a little while, we'll talk about how special all of you who were part of the former Yugoslavia.
Uskoro ćemo pričati o tome koliko ste pomogli svi vi koji ste živjeli.
Serbia. How many from Serbia?
Koliko vas je iz Srbije došlo?
How many from Croatia?
A iz Hrvatske?
Croatia also.
Koliko iz Hrvatske, da.
How many from Germany?
Njemačke?
How many from US?
A iz Amerike?
Only Gurudev.
But again, no accident
Evo, to nije slučajnost.
that we're here. Half of my life ago, 26 years ago,
Prije polovice mog života, prije 26 godina, da,
first came here,
kad sam prvi puta došao ovdje,
before many of you were born.
prije no što se mnogi od vas nisu ni rodili.
How many here are 26 and younger?
Koliko vas ima 26 godina ili ste mlađi možda?
So, before you were born, I was here.
Prije no što ste se rodili, ja sam bio ovdje.
That makes me a little old. When you see the next letters, you'll see how happy Prabhupada was, particularly about the books going out in this part of the world.
Vidjet ćete u sljedećem pismu koliko je Šrila Prabhupada bio sretan kada bi čuo da se knjige dijele posebno u ovom dijelu svijeta.
Prabhupada showed a special happiness and excitement about, especially about the preaching in the Muslim countries and in the former communist countries.
Prabhupada je bio posebno uzbuđen i sretan u vezi propovijedanja u muslimanskim zemljama i u bivšim komunističkim zemljama.
Why? For many reasons. One, because he was so merciful.
To je bilo tako zbog mnogih razloga i prvi od tih razloga je zato jer je bio toliko milostiv.
He knew there were extra complications here, as well as he knew there were special souls.
Znao je da ovdje postoje posebne komplikacije, ali isto tako znao i da ovdje postoje posebne duše.
And therefore, he was so eager to hear about what was going on here, that when he would receive letters from this area, he would literally stop everything.
Bio je toliko uzbuđen da čuje što se ovdje događa, da kad bi dobio pisma iz ovog dijela svijeta, odmah bi prestao sa svim ostalim djelatnostima.
When I was here in Yugoslavia and a few of the other countries, especially Yugoslavia, we would be writing Prabhupada almost every week.
Kad sam bio ovdje u Jugoslaviji i u ovom dijelu svijeta, skoro svakog tjedna smo pisali Šrila Prabhupadi izvještaje.
On the order of Prabhupada's secretaries of seeing how much Prabhupada wanted to hear about what was going on, I was particularly ordered to write Prabhupada as much as possible.
I to su nam naredili Šrila Prabhupadini tajnici koji su znali koliko je on željan čuti što god da se ovdje događa. Meni su to osobno naredili.
Now, of all the communist countries that time, we saw more of Prabhupada's books here in Yugoslavia than any of the other countries.
Ovdje u Jugoslaviji prodali smo više Šrila Prabhupadinih knjiga nego u bilo kojoj drugoj tadašnjoj komunističkoj zemlji.
There was something special about the karma, something special about the souls who were to come here.
Ovdje je bila neka posebna karma i nešto posebno u vezi duša koje su se ovdje trebale pojaviti.
I personally owe the yatra much of my own spiritual life.
Ja ovoj jatri dugujem jako puno od svog duhovnog života.
Because my most intimate exchanges with Srila Prabhupada came from being particularly here.
Jer su neke od mojih najintimnijih razmjena sa Šrila Prabhupadom došle radi toga što sam bio baš ovdje.
I was thinking again, no accident that a few years ago that by Krishna's arrangement that I'm also here, to be with him.
I razmišljao sam kako nije slučajnost da sam već od pre nekoliko godina opet ovdje sa vama.
I think it's also no accident. Now I'm writing books myself, something on the side. I think it's no accident that my books are published here before they come out in any other country.
Ja također pišem knjige i uopće...
I can't even understand it.
Uopće nije slučajnost da su
We are writing the books in English. We send the books here, and and they translate, typeset, print, and they print before we print the book in English.
Uopće mi nije jasno kako imamo više knjiga u engleskom,
So when I read these letters, you understand how much Prabhupada was concerned about here, how special you are, and also how we're all connected.
Let's do some translation seva. So in this year, after so many years, we will have 4 books in the tube. And we will translate Leadership 1 into German. So it's quite good on the way. Then we will translate Spiritual Warrior 4. Actually, let's see what is the what is going on with this translation now. So there are 4 devotees now working, 4 German bhaktas actually working on the translation or editing of Gurudev's books. And here's the last chapter of Spiritual Warrior 4. So Modern Technique is helping us very much to collaborate on distance. And amazing, translation finished. Haribol, Jai Gurudev. So let's see next one. Next one is Spiritual Warrior 2. This is being re-edited. And we have also Reflection on Sacred Teachings, Shikshashtakam, which is also being re-edited. And first and third part of Warriors are also already re-edited. We have new editions with nice cover. So what is next? Oh, look at this email from Switzerland. Sankirtan Alliance online shop. They want to order some new books from Gurudev. And here we have 16 Spiritual Warriors 1 and 8 Spiritual Warriors 3. The books are really good, accepted in Switzerland. And great, then let's do immediately the invoice for the books so that we can ship them. Now we just need to pack all these beautiful books and ship them to happy readers in Switzerland. Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jayo Jayo Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jayo Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Moje ime je Tsunami Devidasi iz Splita, iz Hrvatske. Jai Gurudev, Hare Krishna svim God brotherima i sestrama. Moja služba je briga o božanstvima Splitskog centra i naših šila. I to je za sada što radim za Gurudevovu službu. Sad ćemo malo zapjevat u njegovo ime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
My dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances to your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshte Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Niti Namine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shri Tatmane Shri Guru Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namine. Dear Guru Maharaj, today is a day when disciple opened his heart and with a great feeling sings the glory of the spiritual master. For a fool like me, it's not easy to glorify your divine personality, but I will try with all my love from my heart. I do believe, Guru Maharaj, that Guru is a form of Krishna in disciple's life, and the biggest gift you gave me is the sense of the Krishna presence in every aspect and in every moment of my life. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I am now and forever your eternal servant, Dukha Khantri Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Primite moje ponizno poštovanje, sva slava Šila Prabhupadi, sva slava Gurudev, sva slava vama. Ja sam Murari Haridas iz Bosne i Hercegovine. Ja bi rekao jednu stvar koja se meni povodom Maharadževih učenja čita u 2020. godinu provlači po umu i stalno je nekako uz mene, uz sve ove nevolje koje su nas zadesile sa koronavirusom, a kod nas i sa još nečim. A to je u martu 2020. godine u Zagrebu je bio jedan veliki zemljotres. Ja živim 130 km od Zagreba, ali je se i kod nas jako osjetio. Ustao sam u 5 sati i 5 minuta i sjeo sam na rub kreveta kad sam osjetio prvo jako podrhtavanje tla. I ustao sam, malo me je uhvatila i panika, malo nisam bio siguran da je zemljotres i prišao sam jednoj komodi na kojoj mi je oltar i knjige i onda je bio jak drugi potres. To je se sve dešavalo u nekoliko sekundi i počele su da padaju knjige i slike sa te komode. Ja sam bio u gamši i u potkošulji i uhvatila me jaka panika i krenuo sam prema ulaznim vratima od stana. Otvorio sam vrata i onako u gamši i potkošulji sam stojao na vratima. Živim na 7. spratu, nisam smio krenuti na stepenice, nisam smio u lift, jer znam da i to nije dobro u takvim situacijama, a svo to vrijeme u tih nekoliko sekundi u kojim je se to izdešavalo, pao mi je na pamet Duhovni ratnik 3 i jedno poglavlje gdje Maharadž kaže u trenutku kad krenu zemljotresi, kad krenu razne vremenske nepogode, da će nam biti uzalud sve, i materijalni posjedi, i bogatstvo, i ugled, i čast, ako nemamo Krišnu u srcu i ako nismo razvili naravno dobar odnos sa baktama i sa svim ostalim. Nakon nekoliko mjeseci bio je još jedan zemljotres i opet mi je se to provuklo kroz i svu 2020. godinu sam čitao Duhovni ratnik 3 mnogo puta i stalno sam citirao to kad sam sa svojim prijateljima, ne samo sa baktama, već i sa svim ostalim i na poslu, pošto radim u jednoj knjižari pa se često govori o knjigama. Uzgred, ta knjižara se zove Ramajana. Druga stvar koje sam se također često sjećao, posebno 2020. godine i ranije naravno, ali posebno u ovoj godini ovih velikih nedača je stvar iz, ja mislim, Duhovnog ratnika 6, gdje Maharadž kaže da kad su srušeni kule blizankinje u New Yorku, kako postoje tonski zapisi, svi ostali, kako su svi zvali svoje supružnike, svoju braću i sestre, svoje voljene osobe da im kažu da ih vole, da im nedostaju i tako dalje, što su možda prešućivali čitav život ili nisu na adekvatan način izgovarali, jer kad je neko tu, nažalost, prihvatamo ga zdravo za gotovo. Opet niko nije zvao radi materijalnih dobara, radi ne znam, rata, kredita i slično tome, već naravno ljubav je ono što nam je najpotrebnije, za čim svi čeznemo na ovaj ili onaj način, tako da sam vam povodom Gurudevove Vyasa Puđe htio svima reći da vas volim i da vas mnogo pozdravljam, da mi je drago što sam dio takve porodice i da naravno nikad nisam posumnjao da bi mi bilo ko drugi mogao biti guru osim Bhakti Tirtha Maharadža, posebno zbog njegove velike, divne i ne znam sad da tražim neke druge adekvatne riječi, neko ko je toliko pričao o ljubavi. Zbog Duhovnog ratnika 2 sam možda i započeo Bhakti jogu prije 17 godina i zbog tog sam uvijek bio siguran da je Bhakti Tirtha Maharadž moj guru. Hvala vam na svemu i nadam se da se i vidimo nekada. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama i veliki pozdrav iz knjižare Ramajana iz Banja Luke, iz Bosne i Hercegovine. Hare Krishna, ponizno poštovanje.
Dragi Bhakte, moje ime je Tulasi Manjari. Ja sam dobila inicijaciju od Gurudeva 2002. godine. Kao ponudu za Vyasa Puju napisala sam nekoliko eseja i nekoliko meditacija. I budući da sad je bilo jako kratko vrijeme, nisam mogla ponovo napisati nešto, pa sam uzela od tih ponuda jednu meditaciju koja mi se čini prikladna za ovu priliku. Pročitat ću vam sad jednu vrlo kratku meditaciju u kojoj se sjećam uputa mog duhovnog učitelja koji će biti umetnut u ovaj tekst tako da bolje razumijete. Kada slušam bhađane, često razmišljam o mom duhovnom učitelju. Sjećam se što mi je govorio, kako se kretao, kako je plesao i hodao. Bio sam vrlo sretan kada sam te jučer vidio na aerodromu. A onda snažna vibracija ritmičkog napjeva na mene počne djelovati kao valovi koje pokreću čitavo moje tijelo. Dužim slušanje ritmičkog ponavljanja napjeva počinjem gubiti percepciju okruženja i svijest mi se učvršćuje na valovima ritma koji me nekud odnose. Tvoje duhovno ime je Tulasi Manjari. Neprekidnim ponavljanjem ritma odlazim sve dalje, do vrlo udaljenog odredišta gdje vidim plesače u zanosnom pokretu koji se drže za ruke. Možeš doći sutra prije podne na dašan. Čini mi se da smo zaustavili vrijeme. Vrijeme ne postoji, samo zvuk i pokret. Kako tvoja džapa? Iako sam samo promatrač, zanos viđenja tog prizora se povećava i suze počinju teći. Zahvaljivanje sviračima znači povratak i pokušaj zaustavljanja suza. To što želiš je vrlo plemenito. I tako, ponekad dođe dobra ekipa i onda pjevamo bhađane. Evo, to bi bila ovogodišnja ponuda mom Gurudevu Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, dear God family members. I'm so excited to be together with you for this glorious celebration of Srila Gurudev's Vyasa Puja. And what I love to do for Gurudev since the very moment I met him, I was enchanted by his books, by his words. So this is the service I like to do. I like to distribute his books. And luckily we have so many of his books available in Croatian language, Bosnia and Serbian. So yes, this is something that fulfills my heart, and also it attracts many, many people to our beautiful philosophy of Bhakti. So thank you, Gurudev, thank you, dear devotees. These are my deities. And this is actually my first picture that I got from Gurudev. And since 22 years ago, or something like that. So it's still there. So thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you my heart. Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Beginning of the prize, I was disappointed because I didn't know how to reach my goals. This book helped me to stay strong.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Hare
Gurudev has this CD, this mystical powers, you know, no matter how the whole temple community is so charged with so much negativities, there's no love. The day that it will be announced that a Gurudev will be arriving, and immediately Gurudev arrives in the country, he carries out so much love into the community that people forget about their problems. And even at midnight while he's sleeping, and people bring problems, marriage problem, whatever problem, Gurudev is always ready to wake up at any time to deal with the issue. And no matter how difficult the problem is, when you come in front of Gurudev, he will make the problem look very simple. And you will ask yourself, why didn't I use my brain? This is the mystical and the beautiful aspect of Gurudev. And it's so sweet that in everything that he do, even when dealing with issue, crying out for the mercy. And this quote has always been in the core of my heart. In doing everything from the place of love. Jai Guru.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees and dear Gurudev. First of all, I wanted to thank you all for organizing this wonderful event, which for me personally is an extraordinary opportunity to reconnect with Gurudev and with all of my family. I wanted to share something from my service to Gurudev, to Krishna and to devotees. It's about Ratha Yatra festival in Serbia in the city of Novi Sad. In one lecture I heard from Kadamba Kanana Maharaj that even though one is not specifically fixed up in chanting great sadhaka or preacher or renunciate, at least we should be practical and do something for Krishna. And that like a kind of pierced my being, and I accepted it as an instruction. And I started to pray to Gurudev, Gurudev, please use me, please do something with me, please use me. And it became like a mantra for me. And I practiced it for a long time, or for some time. And as a result, at least I think so, an idea came to my mind that we should organize a Ratha Yatra festival in Novi Sad. And at that time it was like devotees were confused when I proposed to them the idea, it's Serbia, it's dangerous, someone will attack, the Orthodox Church will react. And practically like 2 weeks before the summer camp began, we didn't know, we didn't figure out, shall we make Ratha Yatra or not? And then devotees finally decided that we should. But it was like to close the period between, it was like you should organize a festival big like that in a big town, and then, you have only 2 weeks. And then devotees tried to go to the city authorities, and the authorities approved of having, just musical ceremony, but no chariot and no deities, and this is out of question, and this is not possible in Novi Sad, in Serbia. This is not possible. And then Sachinanda Maharaj came and told us to go and do something that we don't want to make just Harinam, we want to make Ratha Yatra festival. And we went to the city authorities dressed in devotee clothes, three of us. And what was interesting is that there were two Matajis in black bodies, and they dressed very colorfully, like African colors and everything. Like these saris were like really, colorful, extraordinary. And we went to the authorities, and when we were there, the authorities we were bargaining with the city authorities for the approval. And I felt like because of this presence of these two Matajis, like a kind of like Gurudev was there, and we finally got the approval, and it was one day before the actual date of Ratha Yatra. And we made the festival, and it was great. And since then we had 8 Ratha Yatras in the city of Novi Sad. And they were great, and you can see a short 1-minute video from this Ratha Yatra festival. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
I would like to say in conclusion that we are very grateful to the town of Novi Sad, which has proven their well-known openness to the different spiritual cultures of the world.
My name is Goran Sankirtan, and I'm happy for this opportunity to share something. I would like to share something about what it means to be a spiritual warrior in this time for me. As you know, our spiritual master was spiritual warrior in such embodiment of that, embodiment of love and action. And for me, this challenging time, full of challenges, but also full of blessings, like he was like a prophet, he spent this many years before in the spiritual warrior tree. This means to now there is very much opportunity for love and to be here for one another and to more deeply embrace love and more deeply to embrace compassion. And this is like, for me, I found it like this is like true lifeline. This is what keeps me sane in this mad world, because there is so much energy of fear and confusion and everything. And now this is a really blessed time to go deeper and to have all this guidance and all what is necessary is of course available all this time from our spiritual master. And this also means for me to embrace spirituality and to distinguish between spirituality, religiosity and cult approach. And this is like spirituality, the essence. And then when one has spiritually go deeper, then means deeper into love, and with deeper heart and broad-minded and broad platform that we can approach and assist people we met on the path. And that means to be, for me, to be here for other people, not just to think about ourselves. As on the initiation on Gitanaga, his Vyasa Puja, he was saying, lecture, whoever thinks now that he will think more about himself and his spiritual life and not think about others, don't be here for others, that person don't need to receive initiation but can just live. This he was saying it really strongly, like this is the key, this is for me. And as we also know, like we like to mention, is social movement, spiritual social movement. We should be amongst the people, we should serve them. And through that mercy coming through others to us, and we can also share that mercy that we are connected with others. It's a channel in both directions. So we need other people because Krishna and Radharani acted through them, but also we are here for the others, and this is the beauty. And all in all, this is for me very magical and very blessed times. And times that I don't deny that are quite challenging globally, but experiencing when I go deeper in love and deeper in connection, very much, so much blessings. I'm still I'm doing with Gurudev's books for 20 years. I'm leading project of publishing and distributing books in Croatian language. We designed covers, we designed a few years ago. And I really like to doing this. I really like to bring these books reach people, but not just books. People need experience, people need people to be with people, like they need us, they don't just need to read it. The books they're so transcendental literature, there's something so valuable, diamonds. They also need people who have it in their heart and who can share and they can interact. This is for me a very important things that I'm realizing and I feel Gurudev guidance in this time. To be here for one another, to be here as a person, as a real person, spiritual, not bounded with narrow-mindedness or institution or something, but to go deeply spiritual and to be there for other people, connected with Radha and Krishna, and through this connection loving ourselves and being this love flow to reaching others and to receiving from the others. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare.
Ovo je dio iz tvoje knjige Duhovni ratnik 3, utjeha u srcu u teškim vremenima, pod naslovom Predanost. Predanost je nužna za razvijanje i održavanje čistoće. Kroz predanost učimo transcendentalni ego, odbaciti sebične želje i služiti svijet. Kad smo predani nečemu većem i višem od nas, naši se motivi ne temelje na vlastitom interesu, nadmetanju ili pohlepi. Zato, kao duhovni ratnici, moramo stalno nadzirati stupanj naše predanosti. Kada se posvetimo služenju Gospodina svim svojim srcem, Gospodin će uzvratiti dajući nam sve veće sposobnosti da služimo još više. Ako smo iskreno predani Gospodinu i ako tu predanost širimo na druge, stvaramo moćno duhovno oružje koje će pomoći bezbrojnim ljudima da otkriju pravi smisao života. Rasa Ladini, tvoja učenica, Sarajevo, Bosna i Herzegovina, Europa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Postoje ljudi koji su čiste duše, kao da su došli ovdje prerano, kao da su došli u nekoj velikoj hitnosti i nisu stigli da navuku zaštitnu temu. U vidu opreza, malo lukavosti, umeća da se snađu, laktaju, probijaju. Došli su goli i nevini u ovu arenu od života. Gledaš ih i samo im se diviš. Njihova čistota meta je koju niko ne može promašiti, ali ujedno i njihov lični magnetizam kome niko ne može odoleti. To su ti ljudi, čiste duše, ranjivi do bola, bolom snažni u svojoj čistoti.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, Jai 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 Jagannath. Idemo, opa.
Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Tinamne Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitatmane Shigora Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Tinamne. Dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This opportunity, I would like to say just a couple of things. First, I will express my gratitude to you and to all devotees. By your grace, I'm still here with devotees in this wonderful movement of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Present moment, I'm here in the library in my Pradhan. I'm doing some service, and I'm very grateful that I actually have this opportunity to serve your mission. Second, I would like to express my actually surprise in one way. I couldn't find any of your books here in the library. I will try to manage that we have some here, that they are available to all these devotees. And I want to express you that we have some volunteers program here. Many newcomers usually come here to do some work, and they are quite interested in that they want to have some experience in spiritual knowledge. So I would like to present them your books as well. We had some workshop also, and me and Nikyalila, we were trying to actually whenever we doing something in that regard. We are trying to apply your teachings also by explaining them by through the lectures, or also by our example as much as we can. So thank you very much, all devotees and all God brothers and everyone. Here is Nitya Lila. She also now want to share with rest of you some things.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I just want to add what Bhagavat already said, that I was recently in Paris, and there I met few new, completely new devotees, and he was talking a little bit about your books and your presence, and I was surprised that they even don't know you. There was not even a moment when he was here with us, present in this material world. And they were speaking some unusual connection with you, which I had just looking at the picture and reading the books. So I was amazed, and I was deeply touched with the things that they told me, how you touch the life and the heart of the people. So I'm so grateful and so happy and so enthusiastic that I have such a wonderful spiritual master that you are, who are with us all the time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare.
Maya knows that every devotee who comes into this universe is so special, and she wants to find so many ways to cause as many devotees as possible to forget why they took birth in this particular time. We have to work extra hard not to leave ourselves and to help the others not to leave this society too. To have so much knowledge and not to be able to act upon it is an awesome way how one tortures themselves. Pretending that you don't have it is like being in hell. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Letters to Prabhupada. Gurudev Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna everyone, my name is Mahima Mai Devidasi, I'm from Croatia. At the moment my husband and myself, we are in transition period. We are not at the project where we used to serve for the past year, and we are also not at home, but we are visiting our family. And it happens so that they are staying very nearby one, I dare to say, historical place, historical site for all of us disciples and well-wishers and friends of His Holiness Srila Gurudev Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. And that place is Tašalera, Premantura. We haven't been here for 20 years or so, but we managed to find the Tirtha, where the main tent used to be. So let's say here was the beginning of the tent entrance, and just in front of the main tent, Gurudev would have his book stand, where he would sit practically all day long whenever he had some free time, and he would dedicate that time for everybody who was interested to buy his books or just to talk with him. And then during the days, let's say at the end of this area was a sitting place for devotees who would give talks. And behind the tent is a pathway where Gurudev used to which leads to the apartments where Gurudev used to reside, and that is the pathway where we would also go with him in morning times to chant japa together. And of course, in this tent, in this Tirtha, this Tirtha is most famous of kirtans that were being held all day and even more so all night. This past year, 2020, my husband Mahatma Das and myself spent at Goloka Dam in Germany. Amongst other services that we tried to offer there, cooking for the devotees and Shishirada Madan Mohan was prominent. Here you can see our personal lordships Shishirada Giridhari and some of our prasadam offerings. Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gurudev. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare.
That Guru Maharaj is in my heart, is the main of altar. Main altar in our life is in our heart. And Guru Maharaj is here. He went to our heart, entered in our heart, and he guided us. And this is my meditation. But in really life, in every situation in which I was, I felt his presence in my heart, and how he helping in every moment in difficult situations. But what what I want to say. Guru Maharaj told, when I leave my body, I will acting from you, my disciples. My disciples.
Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My name is Mohan Das. I'm the Guru Maharaj's disciple. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is all my family. I was said that we have to record the video of disciples with the members of their family. So you see, I have a big family, different backgrounds, different skin color, but they're all my family. We're all devotees here in Phoenix, Arizona, and just yesterday we had installation of Prabhupada Murti here in our house. So then I just got the idea, why don't we record together video for offering Vyasa Puja Guru Maharaj. So yeah, we live here in Phoenix, Arizona. We try to be Krishna conscious. We try to follow Guru Maharaj's legacy. I try always to present everybody a Krishna consciousness in the light or in the way Guru Maharaj was doing it. Guru Maharaj was being super successful. Here, this is one of the biggest colleges in the US. Here we regularly preach there before COVID happened, of course. So we do a lot of things, but the funny thing is that just yesterday we had this beautiful festival at our home where we installed the Murti of Prabhupada. So we try our best, we try to be Krishna conscious, and we try to follow Guru Maharaj and his teachings and follow his legacy. So I wish everybody, to all my God brothers, I wish all the best, and I hope that we will be able to do more and more for Guru Maharaj and for Prabhupada. We're gonna be able to do it more and more in the time, in the years to come. And now we, instead of having Guru Maharaj tune in the background, we decided to have it live, because all these my family members, they're all very ecstatic for the kirtans. So we'll do it now live. Oh, so let's start. Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Haribo, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj ki Jai, Gaura Premanande. Thank you all and all the best. Gauranga.
Hare Hare Ramo Hare Rama Ramo Ramo Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, my name is Lamanga Manjari Devidasi, I'm from Zagreb, Croatia. I live in Germany with my husband Kanai Gopaldas and my son Arjuna. We live close to Simachalam Paro community, and our service there is to take care of the environment around, for parks, for flowers. And in the free time, I start to work on my first book, which I called Reconnection. It's about healing techniques and natural way of living, connection with nature, and it's inspired by teachings of our Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, and it's based on my healing journey from childhood. And I'm on the beginning for now, but soon I hope I will have something to share with all of you in our global group. And I hope Guru Maharaj will be pleased with the book when it will be finished. I also need your blessings too. And yeah, this is my small offering to Guru Maharaj. And when I have time, I'm painting also as a hobby. These are some of my paintings, pyrography and acrylic colors on wood and canvas. And thank you all for making this possibility. We all together can make nice offerings to Guru Maharaj for his Parents' Day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My name is Arjuna and these are my deities. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Thank you so much. I think everybody here can see why Gurudev said former Yugoslavian devotees are some of the sweetest in the world, and they pull on your heartstrings. It was so nice to have darshan of so many of our devotees and God family. Thank you, and Ananda Vrindavan, for doing such a wonderful job with this. Very, very, very grateful. Thank you all. All right, we are going to continue. Oh my goodness, that was so sweet. We're going to continue now, and we're going to have Divya Drishya introduce the rest of the European devotees.
Thank you, Krishna Shakti. I'd like to first introduce our god brother, Patanjali Muni. Patanjali is based in Hertfordshire, close to the manor. He lives there with his lovely wife, Manogia, and their 2 sons. Manogia has been at Bhaktivedanta Manor since she was a small child, and Patanjali Muni Das has been there 25, 30 years. He's on the senior management team at Bhaktivedanta Manor. He heads up the kitchen operations, which is a massive task. He takes care of all the devotees with regards to the kitchen, and he looks after all the weddings and the massive celebration programs at the manor, where they have tens and thousands of visitors who come through. He's also an amazing scholar. He is very well learned in the Vedas, and he gives the most wonderful classes. He helps us as a God family in the UK. He gives us class, he inspires us with his classes, and he helps us, to develop our Krishna consciousness. He's a wonderful example for Gurudev. He represents him every day of his life. He translated the Bhagavad Gita from English into his home country's language, Korean, and he had the book, the Bhagavad Gita, printed and distributed across the land. So it's with pleasure that I hand over to my god brother, Patanjali Muni. Thank you.
Hare Krishna to all of you. I'm truly honored to be given opportunity to speak on this auspicious occasion. So let me quickly introduce myself. I joined 1997 in UK at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. And I got initiation year 2000 and on Janmashtami Day, along with Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu and the Chitti Shakti Mataji. So there was a great fortune that I have I got initiation with these exalted Vaishnavas. So that originally I'm from South Korea, and I brought up in the, Buddhist family. So first when I joined, that the mood of Buddhist remained, so that I liked the philosophy, but and yet I couldn't get into singing and dancing, especially dancing part, so that I couldn't relate to it. But and yet I liked the praying, and then all other process of devotional service. So at that time, Guru Maharaj used to come to visit Bhaktivedanta Manor on the way to other European preaching, and also when he goes to India, he used to stop over UK. So at that time, my duty was temple commander. So that when visiting sannyasi comes, I arrange their facilities, and also whatever they need, I was meant to provide. So, and then one of opportunity that Guru Maharaj came, and at that time I wasn't Patanjali. I was called as a Bhakta Jin. So as usual, when Maharaj comes, always make all the devotee dance. So I understood that after 7 o'clock deity greeting, after Guru Puja, all the people are dancing. So I'm used to it. But in the Mangalarti time, normally the prayers are a bit sober, not much dancing is going on. So that I used to love Mangalarti rather than the Guru Puja. So one particular morning, Guru Maharaj starts lead the Mangalarti. And then, as usual, so from 4:30 in the morning, he made everyone dance. And then I was standing right at the back of temple room, and somehow Guru Maharaj noticed me that one boy is he's not joining this beautiful kirtan. So he's going up and down, up and down. I was just right at the back and then folding hand like this, just watching, observing. But suddenly he came and then he put the arm around my shoulder and then such a big smile, such a enthusiastic mood and energy. And then he took me into the dance so that I was forced to dance by Maharaj's the powerful energy. So that I went up and down with him, but somehow I liked it. So normally I dance before I join only after drinking. Without influence of alcohol, I can't do anything. Only influence of alcohol, I used to dance, I used to sing, etc., etc. But here, without influence of alcohol, with the soberness, for the first time in my life, with soberness, I danced. So that some change in my heart happened. So that that one moment association was very deeply ingrained in my heart. So that the next visit when he had, that at that time I was scheduled to visit India. So that after a certain amount of service, temples and brahmachari to pilgrimage. So at that time, luckily Guru Maharaj was scheduled to visit India. So I asked him, Maharaj, can I travel with you? At that time, I wasn't initiated at all. I wasn't even on the list of inspiring devotee. The first thing he asked that, are you aspiring me? And then my English wasn't that good enough that to understand what Maharaj is saying, Maharaj lecture. But somehow there is some connection in the heart, so that I didn't understand the meaning of aspiring. So that somehow is kind of some good vibration was coming. So that yes, I'm aspiring. I don't know whatever it made me, but it is yes. So, okay, so you can travel with me. So that I got permission to travel with Maharaj. So that I arrived in India before Maharaj around just 1 week before I arrived India. But still, my mood of Buddhism is still there. So from Delhi, first place I went to was that the birthplace of Lord Buddha. It's called Buddha Gaya, it's next to Varanasi. So that I went to all the Buddhist pilgrimage. Instead of going to Vrindavan, from Delhi, I straight went to Buddha Gaya. So that, wow, thanks to Hare Krishna, so I visit all these Buddhist holy places. So that finally, the Maharaj, 1 week later, he arrived Calcutta in Dum Airport. So that I met another devotee in the airport, so that we were waiting Maharaj. So that finally Maharaj arrived, and then this devotee at that time he used to stay in Mayapur, and then he brought beautiful Radha Madhava calendar. It's like almost is reaching the ankle, so that he offered the calendar, and then we pay obeisances, and then as he walks out, kind of flower petal is what you call is dropping onto the floor. It's like a celestial the mood, and then as you know in India, so that at that time it was I think 1999. So some beggars came and then to my surprise, he gave that garland to the beggar. And the beggar was also surprised that he didn't get this honor. But he gave this such a, having a garland is such an honor, but he gave this garland to this beggar. And then we got into the taxi and then we came to Mayapur. And then some other devotee joined, some other senior Prabhupada, the Maharaj disciple. They are already disciples. Some of them already got initiation, but some of them was aspiring. There are other two ladies and one of devotee from Australia. His name was Brihat Madanga. So in this way, we were traveling together from Mayapur and Vrindavan, and finally the Mumbai, the Jew temple, and the Chapati temple. So that we are traveling around the 1 month. I spent time together with Maharaj. And then I had a fortune to serve Maharaj as a personal kind of secretary. So that at that time my service was temple commander, so that he knew that I look up the different needs, so that somehow he gave the many service so that his journey goes to smooth. So I have to arrange things in advance, etc., etc. So in this way, by just a simple one touch, just a one morning, Monglarti, just by one touch, he took me to his, one sense, he took me as a disciple. And so since then, so many instances, which I cannot share here due to, I guess, a time limit. All other devotees also waiting to, I guess, share their own story. Mm-hmm. What I would like to share is that so Maharaj's mercy is boundless, and due to association with Maharaj, the residue of my feeling of Buddhism all gone. So he removed the impersonal aspect of my spiritual life. He removed it, and then he gave me the taste of the singing and dancing. So much so, he allowed me carry his the famous drum, so that I used to carry for him. So, and also we used to do wonderful Harinam in the Jew beach, and there are many sweet memories. At that time, I didn't know the greatness of Maharaj at all. Who Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was, I didn't know at all. Just this Swami is very kind to me. Somehow this Swami, I think I should take shelter unto him. And then at the journey, 1 year later, Maharaj again, year 2000, he visited Manor on the way to some other destination, so that kindly he gave initiation on Janmashtami day. So interestingly, at that time, the Janmashtami had many, in Bhaktivedanta Manor, Janmashtami a bit big, around 30,000 to 60,000 people are gathering. So that there are many presentation tent. So interestingly, on that Janmashtami, particularly on that Janmashtami, our initiation ceremony was one of a function. Normally, it's not like that. So normally, the initiation happens either in the temple room or some other place. So the initiation wasn't the part of the function of Janmashtami. But due to Maharaj's presence, somehow our initiation arranged on the Janmashtami day, so it became part of a function of Janmashtami. So during our initiation, surprisingly, that when we have a Janmashtami, that we take a deity out of altar and then we give a deity tour. So exactly on our initiation ceremony, deity came from the altar. So it wasn't pre-arranged, but somehow it happened in that way. So that our deity, the Radha Gokulananda, the small, the Lado Gokunanda deity, they have witnessed how Maharaj giving the initiation to this fallen soul. So there was another honor. So in this way, wherever Maharaj goes, always there is special arrangement comes. So let me share with only one story with Maharaj. That a few years later, and then now I'm known as Patanjali Muni instead of Bhaktajin. So first time when he said Patanjali Muni, I couldn't remember them. I never heard this Patanjali before. But Maharaj had such an insight that due to this name, when I started preaching in Korea, at that time, the yoga was well known. So that one of the way of my preaching was that I go to yoga center, I give Bhagavad Gita talk. So in order to become yoga teacher, they have to pass a written exam. So in written exam, there is a Bhagavad Gita, the subject is there. So a lot of yoga center, they want to know the theory of Bhagavad Gita. So that I got opportunity to give a talk in many yoga centers. So when I introduced my name, so my name is Patanjali Muni. All the people's ears perk up and I dig, you are Patanjali? The Yoga Sutra writer, you are? So in this way, such an impact I had to all the yoga students because my name is Patanjali. So once they hear my name, they never forget about me. So I was popular to give a talk in different yoga centers. So in this way, Maharaj had insight. But what I'm trying to share with you, one story is that much years later, one time Maharaj came to UK, so we arranged the various program. So, and then at that time in UK, there was the singing, the contest, singing the concert. There was a large group, all the hippies and the big different singing group. They have a big concert in one of a remote area. That is very famous. I forgot the festival name. So the one of a festival, that big festival that all of the singing concerts comes. So of course some Hare Krishna party, they go there, they pour food distribution, food for all. So food for all made the tent, and then one of the devotees arranged Maharaj visit to there. So and then I went there early to arrange the Maharaj's place where he give a talk, and then and also if there is any people to question, so where they're going to sit. So because there are many tents, so we need to make some arrangement. So when I went there, that the singing contest is a few 5 or 6 days program. So and particular day, so the singing finished. So all the audience, they were all over the place. So that the Maharaj is due to come in half an hour. So within half an hour, somehow I need to gather these people into our Hare Krishna tent. But nobody interested in the Hare Krishna tent because already their singing party or concert they finished. So that people just hanging out, lying on the grass, and then they smoking in different places. So I was puzzled how get these people you get to in our tent, so that as soon as the Maharaj comes and he has to give a talk, because he has a very tight schedule. He had only 1.5 hours window for that program, that festival. And also from that place, he has to another program in the evening, so that he cannot spend much time. So that I cannot wait I couldn't figure it out how to get these people together in our Hare Krishna tent. And just such anxiety. So looking at times, now only 10 minutes left. So what to do? And still, I didn't have any idea. So now, finally, 5 minutes left. And then I got a phone call that Maharaj is now arrived. He's on the way. So Maharaj's car is filling. That moment, thunder strike, and then shower came. Suddenly, shower came. So all the hippies lying on the grass, they're looking for shelter to avoid the rain, so that the old people just rushing into any tent whether can avoid the rain. So those people around the Hare Krishna tent, they all got into the Hare Krishna tent, and our tent full up. As soon as our Hare Krishna tent full up, Maharaj just walked in. I was so happy. Maharaj, here people are waiting for you. So then Maharaj gave a wonderful talk, around a half an hour talk. And then after that, Maharaj gave wonderful dance. Also the hippies also dance in the Hare Krishna tent, and while it's raining. So the wonderful dance, wonderful another kirtan talk. And then one of the hippies, I think two of them, they got stunned. What is this? And then they approached me that, can I talk to this Swami? And then there was another car, so that we arranged this person to have a personal kind of talk with the Maharaj. And then after roughly 10 to 20 minutes talk, and then finally the 1.5 hours finished. And then Maharaj smoothly had exit with all the devotees, the goodbye. So in this way, it had happened in India also, but in UK also. Wherever Maharaj goes, there is always something special. The nature's arrangement is there also. So which means nature's all, they are the devatas. So that they are the wind god Vayu, and then I think Lord Indra at that time, I think he had a special trick so that to greet Maharaj. So in this way, I had a very special and a very sweet memory, and many kind of experience with Maharaj, and I feel truly fortunate. And also, I remember Divya Drisha used to say that Maharaj is saying that we are chosen by the best, we will not settle for anything less. So I feel truly blissful that we are chosen by the best. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you so much, Patanjali Muni Prabhu, for sharing such sweet and intimate and inspirational pastimes and your memories of Gurudev. Thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly pass to Nanda Sunu, and I'll just give him a quick introduction. You all know Nanda Sunu. He was born into the movement, and he met with Gurudev when he was very young, and he served as Gurudev's personal secretary when he was in the United States. He's based close to the manor with his lovely wife and his daughter, and they're just about to make a big move down to the south of England. And he's also, I think you would call him he's like a spiritual magician, because he's just behind the scenes and he makes everything happen. And we wouldn't be connected like we are today without Nanda Sunu. And Dhruva Maharaj was saying to me on the phone the other day, he said, he'll do anything. And that's what Nanda Sunu is like. He said he'll do anything for you, and he never complains, and he'll just go all out and he'll make everything happen. So Nanda Sunu, can I hand over to you, please?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, but my wife Patricia was just laughing about the never complains part, because it's it's not 100% accurate. I feel like Patanjali, it's just so nice to hear from Patanjali, and I wasn't actually expecting to speak right now, but thanks for your introduction. And I don't know what to say. I'll just be really quick. Basically, the strong feeling I'm getting is really about family, and that's something that is so amazing, the family that Guru Maharaj has created and the importance that he put on it. I had a short time with Guru Maharaj, just less than 2 years really. My family was connected with him from before I was born, but as a child I didn't see him many times. I only have a few memories of him growing up. I have one memory of him coming to the manor for Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja one year. This must have been in the 90s. I don't know what year it would have been. But at that time we used to have Vyasa Puja in the temple room, and you would get the London devotees and manor devotees somehow we all fit in the temple room at the manor. And if anyone's been there, it's really surprising how that was even possible, but we did. And he was giving his offering, and then my mother, who is very shy, she really does not like public speaking. She knew Guru Maharaj they were also in Africa together and from the US. So he wanted her to give an offering, but she had hidden somewhere in the temple because she was just too shy. So Guru Maharaj actually stopped the program and said, listen, we're not going to continue until Sangha comes and gives her offering. So they had like devotees looking for her. We have this intercom system at the temple. Everyone's pinging the intercom, can Mother Sangha please come to temple room, until finally she appeared and gave her offering. I met Guru Maharaj more, I guess, formally when I was about 18. It's been really lovely to see the videos, or the creation video, like some of those pictures. I remember when I first started to get more interested in actually Krishna consciousness as a young adult. I remember looking at pictures of Guru Maharaj. I just was really interested in him, and some of them were, I think, must have been from the Croatian festivals, dancing. And I had this image of Guru Maharaj. There's a photograph of him with his arms around devotees, dancing and just smiling. And that was one image that I would really meditate on. And the year I kind of got interested more in Krishna consciousness, and I really felt connected to Guru Maharaj. I didn't have any personal contact with him, but I had that kind of desire, and somehow I had this very strong desire to take initiation from him. But I hadn't met him like properly as a young adult, and I didn't really have any relationship with him. And so at the time I was staying in the US with my dad for about 6 months. And then I came back to the UK probably in, I think must have been April, this would have been 2003. And then as soon as I got home, my sister had been previously aspiring, and then she was going through a kind of downtime in her spiritual life, so she wasn't really interested at the time. And she just gave me a bunch of stuff. She was like, just take this stuff. And it was a box of like 40 Guru Maharaj's lecture tapes. And I was like, wow. So I was listening to the lectures, and then I think within a month or two, Guru Maharaj came to London, or that summer he came to London, and I heard he was coming, and I was so excited about seeing him. I didn't really know any God family at the time, but I just knew he was coming, and I wanted to meet him. So the day he was coming to the temple, I went to Mangalati just in case he would be there. I was like, okay, I go to Mangalati. I don't really go to Mangalati. I think I had to literally like walk for an hour to get to the temple because I couldn't drive at the time. Like, I got to Mangalati. He wasn't at Mangalati, and I'm just like waiting to see him the whole time. So like I'm just kind of thinking about it. Okay, Mangalati's not there, Japa, he's not there. Guru Puja starts, and then he walks in, and I had this image of him, of the dancing and the smiling and the hugging, and he looked completely different, like straight face, serious, like no smiling. and I was like, oh wow. So he walked in, he did the Guru Puja, offered, also serious, you know how he would offer the arati. And then then after the Guru Puja, you know, you have the kirtan. So then he started the kirtan, and then he started dancing. And I was like, wow, you know, he's so physically present. And then he does the thing where he gets everybody in the circle. So I was kind of close by to him. And at one point he just grabbed me, and I was just like this was just incredible what was going on here. And then the kirtan that week he was at the manor, the kirtans were amazing. They were just like, there was this devotee, I forget his name, he's from where's he from? He's from Africa. He plays that saxophone. He's from he was in the UK for a long time. And he had the saxophone going, and the dancing, and Guru was doing all the footwork, and everything was going incredible. And he gave a really incredible class. And then at the end of the class, I just wanted to talk to him. I had no like topic or discussion. I just wanted him to know that I existed, kind of thing. So I approached him at the end of the class and said, you know, Maharaj, you don't really know me, but you know my sister, and I just wanted to say hello. He's like, I know you. I was like, wow, okay. He said, you have the eyes of your father and the cheeks of your mother. I was just like, how does he even know me really? And then I was like, can I talk to you? He was like, yeah, come right now. So he brought me into a room and we were just hanging out. There was another, I think Rida was there. And then that day, he was staying at Patanjali Muni's house. So somehow or other, I ended up spending the day with him. I went to the house. I said that I kind of mixed in the week, but I got to serve Guru Maharaj Prashadam. And then later on, I remember Patanjali, when you moved to Korea, you were giving things away because you couldn't take everything with you. And Patanjali had remembered that I served Guru Maharaj Prashadam, and he gave me the plates that Guru Maharaj used that week. And I have them here, which is really, I appreciate that a lot, Patanjali. So that week I got to spend with Guru Maharaj, and then at the end of the week, he was going to France. So that week he said, you want to come to France? This was like Sunday, you want to come to France tomorrow? And I was like, yes, I do, but I had a job at the time, and I couldn't just leave. And this was the summer, and I was planning on going to university. I was going to university anyway, I had to leave the job at some point. So I didn't know what to do, but I definitely wanted to go to France. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go to France tomorrow. And then it was like 8 in the morning, I had to call my work, and I'm like, what am I going to tell them? So I just called them and say, I'm not coming into work today. And actually, I'm just going to quit. Actually, I'm not going to go back to work because I'm going to France with my guru. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, and also, yeah, so I'm just going to quit because I had to, at some point in that job, I had to leave. So I just took the chance to leave then. And they were not really happy with that. But I got to spend the week in France with Guru Maharaj. And that was his last visit really to the UK, main visit. He came back one more time, but I was very lucky to have that experience. And then later had other experiences in the US. Yeah, and just that family experience was just so lovely. Anyway, I've gone a bit long, so I'll stop now. Thank you very much. Oh, Divya, you're muted, Divya.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Especially thank you for that lovely share, especially when you reminded us of the photo of Gurudev and the embrace and everything. I'm sorry to just cut it, and we've got to rush on now because we're restricted to time. I wanted to quickly introduce you to Dhruva Maharaj. He said he hasn't got the time to speak, but I just thought if you could just see him for like 1 minute, because he's behind all this program and he actually puts it all together, and he does this in the UK with us as a God family. He stays behind the scenes, but he actually always puts all the programs and the Vyasa Pujas together. So Dhruva, I know you say you're a bit short for time to speak, but could you just speak to them so they can see who you are and hear from you?
Hare Krishna, my obeisances to the assembled Vaishnavas. I'm going to keep this very brief. Firstly, my love and gratitude to J. Vijay Prabhu. We had his 1-year memorial in January from Australia, his close friend of mine. And obviously Bhuta Bhavana, through them I know Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj a lot. I actually in 2005 came close to suicide. I was going to end my life. It came so close where, I saw the train and was going to jump. Somehow, I don't know how, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's spiritual warrior 5 jumped out at me, and part about the internal dialogue sort of made me understand. I was blaming myself for the problems in life. You know how Maharaj makes you go deeper and understand, and that totally revolutionary and changed my life. I always feel like I shouldn't even be alive, but being alive is all Maharaj's mercy. And so much gratitude to his books. They're just absolutely life changers because they share so much love within them. You feel Maharaj's presence, like Prabhupada says, if you want to know me, read my books. If you want to know Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, definitely read his books. And I remember one pastime, we were in New Vrindavan in one of those ecstatic kirtans with the Pandava Senas in 2004. And then we came out of the kirtan, Maharaj would push us into the middle, with the elbow going back. Like I said, we had such a great time, and we were having lots of wrestling matches as well there. Then we came to the shoes section, and I was just putting on my shoes. Somebody was massaging me from behind. So I thought it was one of the young Pandava Senas. So I thought I will wrestle them to the floor and put their feet on my head, teach him not to serve me. I turned around to do it, and it was Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And and then I had a split personality there. 1 minute resting the minutes, Maharaj, dear. And then Maharaj got me into the headlock and said, "You really want to take me on?" And stuff. Even though he's full of sweat and everything, how Maharaj is in a kirtan, it was still ecstatic being in that headlock. And I'm from East London. I was in many headlocks, but that was the best of the lot. So we had sweet pastimes. But all the pastimes that I remember with Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, there was a big patron dinner. And I was serving Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj at that time. And as soon as Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj heard that Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj had arrived, he ran straight over. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj would run over like a baby, would run straight into Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's arms. And they wouldn't let go of each other. They always, while sitting down, walking over to the seats everywhere. Only when Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was asked to come on stage and introduce Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj did they let go. Then even on stage, they embraced. There's such deep love. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, the final class that he ever gave last year was on the life of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And just before he left, he said how much he's missing Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and how much he's here, the presence you all would remember. But I'm gonna let others people, Buddha Bhavana Prabhu and Bhakti Kamya and Mahesh and everybody's still waiting. So thank you so much. Dandavats to you. I'll spend more time with you.
And thank you so much, Dhruva Maharaj, for everything that you've done for us. We really appreciate it from our hearts. And next, I'll introduce you to our good brother Mahesh and his lovely family. They are based in Croydon, in the south part of London, and they are in the heart and soul of the Hare Krishna community there. They are just such a wonderful family. They have their two daughters who are a reflection of the love and bhakti that they show as parents. They're wonderful disciples, and I'm so grateful that you're here and you're going to speak and talk to us. So I'll hand over to you, Mahesh.
Thank you, obeisances to Gurudev, Prabhupada, and all you exalted devotees. I first come into contact with Maharaj's teachings by Bhutta Bhavana after being wrestled and beaten by him on a Bandasana trip. It's funny, I went down there with a big ego, and then suddenly I got beaten by Bhutta Bhavana, and then he on the way back he was reading a spiritual warrior book, and I saw the picture of Arjuna at the front, and I was like, wow, that's me. And Bhutta Bhavana was so lovely. I asked him if I could read the book, and he said, yeah. And after reading it for about a couple of hours, I asked him if I could have it. And he's like, yeah. And then that was first contact with Maharaj's teachings, and it just stole my heart. And then later on, I heard that Guru Maharaj was coming to a Bandasana trip in 2003 to Spain, and I had an intense desire to go.
Italy, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, Italy, not Spain, Italy. I had an intense desire to go, but unfortunately we couldn't afford it. Financially, things were really tough, but somehow we got to go there, me and my wife, next to nothing. And Manjari, my older daughter, she was inside my wife's belly at the time. And I remember I was cleaning the floor, and I was feeling unworthy to be cleaning the floor. And I was just having a little dialogue with Gornitai there, that I don't deserve to be cleaning the floor, and there's all these lovely devotees, and yet you let me clean your floors. And suddenly I heard someone shouting, someone saying, Haribo Prabhu, and it's Chitti Chakti Mataji. And she goes, okay, have you come to see Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj? And I said, yeah. And then next thing you know, we went to the airport. I was handed a garland to give to him, and I was like, wow. And the garland was massive. And I remember the doors open and we started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then suddenly the doors shut and everybody's like still chanting but looking at each other thinking, what do we do? So we carried on chanting, we got pushed away, and suddenly the doors opened again. We saw Maharaj and we started chanting Hare Krishna again, and this happened a number of times. And then Maharaj come, I got a chance to actually put the garland on Maharaj. I got a chance to drive him back, which was amazing, truly amazing. And then later on that year, I started aspiring for Maharaj then, and later on that year, we got. And then later on, we got a chance to serve him at Patanjali Muni's house, where my wife cooked loads of nice prasadam for him, and I got a chance to iron his kurta and chant with him, which was so amazing. And then while he was taking rests, we were outside with his shoe turning upside down to try to get dust from his shoe. And he opened the door and we had the shoe on our head. Okay. And I quickly put it down. I go, sorry, Maharaj, sorry. And he just laughed. And then after he had the prasadam, we came in, and I was in a silly state where Maharaj was talking to us, and I was taking a little video from his foot to his face. And he looked over, and him and my wife just looked at me and just laughed. And I put it back to his feet, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?" So then I put the phone away. But since then, we've been fortunate that my whole family has the shelter of the UK devotees. My kids and I, we do a regular Bandhavsena programs in Crawley where we talk a lot. We do a lot of talks from Guru Maharaj's books, and we're just so honored that we could be part of this amazing family. And I know you all elevated souls. Unfortunately, I didn't get initiated, but to be a part of this wonderful family, I just feel so honored, and just say thank you very much. Oh. And if you could bless my kids and me and my wife to try to serve the Vaishnavas. Thank you.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Mahesh, and your beautiful family for sharing those special times with us and reminding us what it's like to be in the airport and the kirtans and to do all the service. It just brings back such wonderful memories. Thank you so much. And now I'm just going to hand over to Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu and his lovely wife, Bhakti Gamye. You all know Bhuta Bhavana. He's second generation leader within ISKCON. He works tirelessly, giving classes and seminars across Europe and America. He's also, in his professional life, he is a leadership and management motivator, coach and teacher. He works in the UK with the in the financial and economic sector. So they're doing lots of great work there. Both him and his wife together travel and preach and continue to inspire us all to stay focused and with our practice within ISKCON. So I thank you both, and I'll hand over to you. Thank you, Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Divya Drisha. Okay, so I'll just share something briefly. First of all, it's wonderful hearing all the wonderful pastimes of all the devotees, and also a big thank you to Dhruv Maharaj, Nanda Shuno, Krishna Shakti, and all of the devotees who've been involved in making this happen. It's really a wonderful event, and it's just been going so wonderfully. And I know there's so much work that you all put behind the scenes. So a sincere thank you. I'll be brief. Also, because I know there's so many other, much more senior devotees who we're lucky to have here who would like to share. So one pastime with Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Actually, I'll just share two very briefly. One, we were in Detroit, and this was in 2004. So he'd come to Detroit, and this was from Toronto. He'd been in Toronto Rafa Yatra. And I remember that, there was some issues with his foot. He was actually going to leave early and so on. And then he gave a class in the Fisher Mansion, which is the temple, the devotee temple. And he was talking about the youth in our movement, those who are born in our movement, and the need to make sure that we have a really thriving community for them. And I knew that he was going to leave the next day. And I was standing at the back of the temple room, and he was at the front, and he was, giving the class and so on. And then he announced in the class, he said that he changed his mind, he's going to stay a little bit longer, which was a surprise for everyone. And then I remember that night, because we were staying in an apartment, I think it was another devotee, their flat. Maybe it was Mother Jambavati, she was staying elsewhere, but anyway, we were staying there. And he told me that evening, he said, I was going to leave. I was going to leave the next day. He said to me, he said, but Purusha Shukta was praying so hard for me to stay, that I had to stay one more day. He told me that. I always remember that. And I understood he could actually understand, he could perceive that Purusha Shukta was praying, like asking Krishna, please make him stay one more day. So that was one memory. One other memory, again, 2004. So I was acting as a personal servant. We were at his house in Gita Nagari, and he was watching Memories of Prabhupada. And so it was the edition where Umapati Maharaj was there, Bhakti Chara Maharaj, and so on. And so when Bhakti Chara Maharaj came on the screen, he just became fixed. He was just like, suddenly it was almost like a trance. He was just staring at the screen and hearing Bhakti Chara Maharaj speaking, sharing his memories of Prabhupada. So later that day, because I was his personal secretary, he was dictating the emails. So he was dictating an email to Bhakti Chara Maharaj. and I remember how it began. So, he obviously respects obeisances and so on. And then he began the email by saying, where are you? Question mark. And I knew where Bhakti Chara Maharaj was because he was in the UK, because I was in contact with the devotees in London, and I knew that he was there doing some programs. So I said, Guru Maharaj, I know where he is. He's in London. And Guru Maharaj said, doesn't matter. He said, just write what I tell you. And he was like, where are you? Question mark. He said, I'm sure you must be somewhere in the ISKCON world, caring for and looking after and supporting the devotees. And I always remember that it was very clear, the value system. It was very clear what was important to him. It was very clear, this mood of care and community and devotees. And to be, again, being very honest, just because I always feel that we're speaking amongst our wider family. One of the things I saw many, very strongly, with so many devotees, is that when the spiritual master leaves, it can be easy to fall into conflicts, right? But what I noticed was that Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he had tremendous foresight. And Dhruv will remember this. I think there was one year that, I think things weren't happening so much in the UK, we weren't meeting regularly and so on. And he wrote us a very stern email saying, basically, you will disgust me, right? And he was basically talking about the importance of coming together, connecting and cooperating together. And I think what he said was that I will bypass stopping in the UK unless and until you all kind of really come together. And it really struck a chord for me because I see that because we tried as a God family to practice that, therefore there's more cohesion than there would be otherwise. So I really also appreciated that tremendous foresight, and I hope we can continue in that direction. Anyway, but that's all I'll share. I believe Bhakti Gami had a poem that she wanted to share, which was inspired by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj.
Yeah, I just want to say very, very briefly how Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj really touched my life. Oh, so you can you stay. Okay. Yeah. So the first book I read about Tirtha Maharaj was Spiritual Warrior 2, and when I read it, I desperately wanted to meet the person who'd written the book, and then I was devastated to hear that he'd left the planet. So I just come to Krishna consciousness, and I was really inspired by him. And for me, for some time, Krishna consciousness was actually Bhakti Tirtha Swami consciousness. I was just obsessed with listening to his classes and reading his books. And when I read Black Lotus, that's when I was inspired to that's the book that made me make the switch from just being interested in Krishna consciousness to deciding that I would dedicate my life to Krishna consciousness and take it up. And that's when I started to chant earnestly, and that's when I thought I'm gonna, really try to find the spiritual life to take shelter of. Because I just so much connected with what Bhakti Tirtha Swami wrote in Black Lotus, and I connected with his life story, and I related to him. So I wrote this this poem. It's called Spiritual Warrior, and it's just my offering to Maharaj today. This is my way of coming out to you all. Though it is rare, I will declare I am there for the Lord. On this battlefield called material life, patience is my armor, love is my knife. My strength is sense control and mastery of the mind. I do not feel anxiety, instead I find the inner peace that comes when I concede to the need of the Lord. Humility is a spiritual warrior's second quality. Humility is truth, understanding my identity as a child of God. As I get ready for war, I leave behind all fear, because I move aside and let the Lord drive. If I speak to the enemy, I speak truth. I will not become a war-torn casualty, live in defeat because I've been brought down to the enemy's lower level of reality. As a spiritual warrior, I do not go off duty. There is no compassion fatigue. I must accept the austerity and always be ready for war. Spiritual warfare means tirelessly raising the consciousness of all, relentless like a juggernaut. I have disinterest in material rewards. If I think material life is the all in all, I miss my chance to become absorbed in the Lord. I use strategy to destroy the opponent in the shortest time with the greatest blow. Strategy means to manage my time so that every opportunity is used to express divinity. Like the common cobbler, I must have faith to see the Lord's hand in everything, so I wait with curiosity to see what opportunities for service the day will bring. Like my enemy, the army I must fight, namely lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and false pride. Their camp, their bases, and their trenches are in my heart, and I win because I surrender at the start. I surrender to the Lord. You may call him God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah. I call him Krishna. Seek your blessings that he will give you, but more than bless you, he will bless you. This is my way of coming out to you all. I am ready to declare my service to the Lord. It started before time, it will know no end. It reignited with his name, Krishna, my friend. Thank you. Bhakti Tirtha Swami ki jai.
Oh, thank you, Bhakti Gamya, for that beautiful poem, just capturing the essence of Guru Maharaj. And thank you, Bhuta Bhavana, for sharing all your beautiful pastimes and insights. I'm going to hand over now to Krishna Shakti. Is it, Nandasunu? Are we handing back? I know they're pressing us for time.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Krishna Shakti, you want to?
All right, so I think we actually have a break coming up. Are there other devotees from Europe? Where is this?
I see.
You guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. Took us all around the world. Well, Eastern Europe so far. And
Rasa Murthy online from UK.
Excellent, excellent. All right, let's continue.
Rasa Murthy, would you like to share something?
Yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the Croatian devotees for organizing that those camps. I remember how in 2000 I turned up with my mom, and I didn't even know that you had to bring your own camp. And my mom was, my mom's a bit overweight, and she was really devastated that like there's no hotel or anything like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do to accommodate my mom? And the devotees kindly, at the middle of night, about 11 o'clock at night, that was the time I came, they arranged this caravan for me, my mum to stay at, and it was just amazing. I remember how in 2000 I was in that huge tent, and there used to be kirtans all the time. And I used to, at that time, I just joined Krishna consciousness in 1999, so I was really new to all of this. And like Patanjali Muni Prabhu, you know, I used to always be at the back, and I didn't really like to sort of sing and dance, and so I was always at the back. And I remember very distinctly, extremely distinctly, I was being at the back, and my heart said, "This is your spiritual master." And I actually looked down to my heart and I said, "Wow, I didn't know my heart can speak." And it was so powerful. And I used to take advantage of where Guru Maharaj used to set up his books under the trees. The atmosphere was just unbelievable. There is so the quietness, the bustling of the devotees, you know, the children playing, the sun always, you know, right above Guru Maharaj, shining down through the trees. The whole atmosphere was just like, it was another planet, you know, the atmosphere. And so I'm really grateful for that time when the devotees arranged those camps. It was so special to me. And it was when I realized that this is, you know, my spiritual master. I hadn't met anybody else at the time. And it was like, it was so clear that this is it. He is my spiritual master. There's nobody I want to aspire from. I moved into the temple at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And, you know, I wish I had pictures during those times that we took. And, you know, when Guru Maharaj's foot got amputated, we all came together as a disciple, UK Yatra. And we used to have all these kirtans at the manor. We've, you know, as a family, UK family, we've traveled, you know, together to Gitanagari. We've traveled together to India when we had the ashes, you know, the samadhi. You know, the UK Yatra has been amazing. And so my time at the manor, I remember specifically, you know, I was still aspiring, hadn't taken initiation. I used to go to the Goshala there and pray, you know, and my prayer was, it doesn't matter if I don't get initiated, it doesn't matter, that I know my heart that I'm connected and that's it, you know. And this was by 2004, I still wasn't initiated, and his foot was amputated. We didn't know whether Guru Maharaj was going to be here with us and how long he'd be here with us. And so we were really focused on praying for Guru Maharaj's well-being at that time. And it was amazing how, you know, it was announced, you know, Chidi Shakti was playing a key part at the time, you know, being in contact, and that Guru Maharaj was going to do initiations in February of 2005. And so we traveled together as a family for that initiation ceremony. All of the UK Yatra was there. It's just, yeah, like sharing Guru Maharaj's life with all of you has been the best part of it, you know, and I'm so grateful for all my God brothers and God sisters, especially here in the UK, for giving me such a beautiful insight to Guru Maharaj's mood, his teachings, and how to imbibe those teachings in everyday life. So yeah, thank you so much to this God family. I'm so ever so grateful.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I know I remember traveling around Europe when Gurudev was undergoing the amputation and just going through his last year of life, and just seeing the devotion in all spots. So definitely the Croatian summer camp, and going up to Ireland and seeing how they literally wrote Bhakti Tirtha Swami on the deities, you know, to pray. Just the devotion and just seeing the different moods across Europe was amazing. So thank you all for sharing precious gems of Gurudev, you know, whether it be Indra's magic based on desire, or Purushashikta's desire, you know, to have Gurudev stay in Detroit one more day, you know, and hearing the beautiful poem from Bhakti Gamya, and just hearing about the beautiful memories and how Gurudev wanted us to come together and focus on caring, loving communities and his value system, and just seeing that represented within you all. So thank you all very much. Thank you so much, Rasamurthy, as well, for speaking. We're gonna take a half-an-hour break. So at 11 o'clock, we're gonna resume. So look forward to seeing you guys in a bit. Break time.